Episode 39 of the 580 show. We are live. Dante, we on YouTube being filmed?
Yeah, we're being filmed.
We good?
We're
Yeah.
underway.
Ready to
Great.
roll? All right. So this week, I got some topics. I'll see what you guys got to. We got some questions. We'll go around the horn a little bit.
Oh,
Battle
around
at
the bush.
Battle at the Bridge is where early bird pricing's gone, so that's cool. And we have people signed up, on regular pricing already too. So it's kind of cool. We're at like 16 or 17 people signed up already, and
we're not even in 2022 yet.
Yeah, I think
So,
I posted about today. It was like what, like 286 days still until the
Yep.
show.
something like
So
that.
that's cool. I really want to be sold out before the end of the year, though. Like to have everything. I think we will be.
That's a
I was
good
gonna
goal.
say you're on track.
So I talked to the owner of the venue today on the phone, and he's like super hype about it. And I was like, "What's my max?" And he's like, "Dude, just keep bringing them." He said just for the outside, just the patio. That doesn't include like if we're doing it on like an event, running it on like either side of the building or in the main parking lot or anything like that. Just the back patio, they've had over 600 out there.
Wow.
Over 600.
So there's
that's-
enough
that's
room
huge.
for sure.
Yeah, so 600 capacity in the back. That's not counting the indoor bar and restaurant. That's not including both side parking lots in the front parking lot. So, Battle at the Bridge. Start posting that hashtag. I know we're probably too far out to start training for it, so I won't say that yet. But thank you to everyone that signed up, and I promise that we're gonna put on an awesome show, and it's gonna be the start of something special with this show. So, yeah, just a little update there. Another show update: Ohio's Strongest is sold out officially. I think I did the quote or the count, and we're definitely 580 Barbell members represented over 10 at the show.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's gonna be awesome. So Struthers, Ohio on October 30th. Ohio's Strongest. Did you guys see? Probably you're not on Facebook. So
No.
they posted pictures of the venue. Riley or Dante, did you guys see that?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
actually looking
I
at it
did.
now.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Can you put them up on a screen, Dante?
They legit just
Yeah, let me see
like
if I can do
they
that.
got the mayor of it looks like they got the mayor of Struthers, Ohio to just give them an empty warehouse.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. It's literally just an empty like commercial warehouse.
I talked to Matt Hodge, who's like the Metal Militia chapter. Apparently,
Yeah.
he knows Dylan
There's-
Schmidt pretty well.
Yeah, they're sponsoring
Um,
the event.
Yeah, he said that he talked to him about it, and he told me when he came down to 580 that it was just like a big like basically industrial warehouse. It's a huge space, like plenty of room.
Dude,
So, that'll be sweet.
it looks like a 20,000 square foot warehouse.
That's awesome.
It was funny. I told you about the gym Frawley, but
This is it.
there's a picture of the
Oh,
inside
wow.
too. He put scroll right. Yeah.
Wow, look at
It's
that.
literally just an empty
Yeah.
warehouse. It's awesome.
Huge.
I mean, look at this legend. Like this
Yeah.
is
That's
huge
pretty
up there.
cool.
So
Like,
if
look how
you-
much space that is, dude. That's sick.
if you didn't sign up for Ohio's Strongest,
Come hang out.
you can still come hang out. They do have a wait list. I saw, so people always drop out of strongman shows. So if you're still interested, I'm sure you can get on the wait list and find your way into the show.
They
Probably.
did say one's open right now on the Facebook page
Yeah.
when I looked.
So, yeah, I mean, I'm sure there'll be a couple spots that open up, but even if you're not competing, come down, support 580, come support us if you know us, and just hang out and watch a fun day of strongman.
Youngstown's not that far from Pittsburgh, so if you're in the Pittsburgh area, Youngstown it's like an hour driving max.
And you
So-
can get your autograph
It's
from
for-
Crawley.
We're gonna get those. We're gonna get those guys on too,
Sure.
and talk about the show a little bit. But I'm excited for that one. They got some food trucks. It was funny. They said on the Facebook page today, like we have 10 super heavyweights. So that's bad news for the food trucks.
They're rumor has it they're
guys-
trying to tag Frawley, but since he doesn't have Facebook, they couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I might set up like a William Smith page one day or something,
That's
like we talked about.
so
before.
probably that's gonna be your first strongman show.
Yes, sir.
You're an open.
Can't wait.
So you're gonna have 10 super heavyweights in your class, which is awesome. That's super competitive. How are you feeling leading up to your first ever strongman show?
I'm pretty confident. I mean, I'm progressing well with the events like I was hoping to through my prep. My cardio is starting to come around now, which is good. That was obviously my biggest concern coming from powerlifting. Like I had a good strength base built over probably, well, I've been lifting for 10 years, but truly powerlifting, I probably lifted for like 3 or 4. So like I had a good strength basis always built, but like you don't move in powerlifting. So like picking
Yeah.
300 pounds up and moving with it is much different than just standing and squatting 700 pounds. So
100%.
I'd say the biggest thing is my conditioning and cardio that I'm concerned about. But I really noticed last week with like my moving events that it was starting to come around. So I think if I continue down the right path that I'm on, I'm going to be pretty much ready to go. So
Hell yeah. What's
Yeah.
one thing? That's one thing I think like I look back at when I competed and trained just for powerlifting, and now that I train and compete just for strongman, is I think I focused too much on the 3 lifts and I got very muscle bound, and it made my transition to strongman a lot harder. Like
Sure.
I was so stiff. I was horrible at moving events when I first started. I wasn't worth a shit. I
Mhm.
couldn't tie my shoes. Like it was just that's what I kind of enjoy about strongman is that like I'm more athletic now. Like I
Sure.
jump, I run, I throw stuff. So like that's one thing. Like even if you're competing in powerlifting and you're listening to this podcast, like unless you're peaking, you're close to a powerlifting meet. Like I would suggest like a lot of moving events, like still like farmers carries, stuff that'll actually still carry over to your power lifts, but like you don't get so stiff. Like I'm not saying you have to do strongman, but move a little bit.
GPP is still very highly recommended among high level strength at even powerlifting athletes. Like if you're a powerlifter, you should still be doing general physical preparedness. Like you should
Oh,
still be doing
100%.
cardio. Something I didn't do much of. My real cardio, the only real cardio I did when I was competing was high rep deadlifts and high rep squats. And I mean, they carried over for what I needed it to. And I was in shape enough for a powerlifting meet. But like, if you can get your heart rate up and be in good cardio shape, it's only going to help you on the top end. I mean, like
100%.
Josh said, you don't want to do it whenever you're peaking for a show, but like you should be doing it to be in good physical shape
Right.
for sure.
Yeah, like and obviously general physical preparedness depends on the sport, right? So
Right.
and Dave Tate put it perfectly once. He's like, everyone needs general physical preparedness. He's like, for a powerlifter though, it's just getting up and walking, being able to walk for 15 minutes on a treadmill.
Mhm.
He's
Right.
like, it's that simple. He's like, you don't need a lot of cardio, but it's amazing how winded and out of shape some powerlifters are.
Right.
It's like that old school mindset of like, oh, it's not even like old school because like I feel like Louis and those guys have always been high on sled drags and stuff like
Yep.
that. It's just stupid to be like, oh, more than 3 reps is cardio and like that type of stuff. I think that's like it's just stupid.
Yeah, that's gym bro talk. I mean,
Yeah.
anybody who has taken 9 max effort attempts in a day, true max effort, right? Like that's basically what a powerlifting meet is. If you think you're going to go through an entire powerlifting meet and be able to put forth your max effort on all 9 attempts, by the time you get to your third deadlift, if you don't do some sort of conditioning through your prep, you're not gonna you're gonna be gassed, and
Right.
your back's gonna be
100%.
pumped, your hamstrings are gonna be fried. I mean, you're gonna be toast. So you've got to do something to get yourself into that type of shit, that
I
type of
agree.
shape.
And that's why too. That just reminded me like Furby. If you don't go to 580 barbell, he's one of our dummies down at the gym. And he's doing a mock meet on Saturday. And like I made sure I got it through his head. Like I recommend this for every power lifter and every strength athlete is specificity. Like I told him, come in on Saturday, bring snacks, bring a drink, like an energy drink you're gonna drink day of the meet, whatever. Bring like peanut butter jelly sandwiches, whatever you're planning on eating in meet day, and actually do the 9 attempts with the commands. You know, you don't have to take 5-6 hours like a powerlifting meet's going to be, but do it in 2-3-4 hours and really
Sure.
feel out what it's going to be to take 9 true max efforts or 9 attempts. I don't want to, at
Yep.
least 3 max efforts,
Yeah.
and let your body feel like, oh crap, this is what I'm going to feel coming up in 9, 16, 12,
Right.
whatever weeks when he actually has to do it. I
Right.
think that's what I screwed up when I first got into strongman was I didn't spend enough time on the actual events. I was getting stronger and
Sure.
like it helped me, but like I didn't realize I could have shaved 10, 12 seconds off a keg medley by just practicing it more.
Yep.
So just being specific, I think for any strength sport, any sport in general, you
Right.
got to be specific to a certain extent.
When you're getting prepared for a competition, absolutely.
Right. 100%.
Absolutely. You need to
And
be
it's like-
specific.
And you can dial it into anything. It's like my wrestlers don't just wrestle.
Right.
But as we get closer to their season, we're doing a lot more wrestling specific stuff. They're doing
Sure.
a lot more like stuff that I feel like carries over to wrestling, a lot more bang for their buck. We start moving a lot more. Right now, they kind of just get to have fun and they get to get stronger, put on some muscle, look good for girls. But when we get in with 3 months closer to the in-season stuff, that's when we really ramp it up and get specific.
That's why they call it off season and in season.
Right.
Right.
I mean, and like, I think people too, they get like off season. Like if you're really dedicated, it's like, this sounds like cliche, but there's really not an off season. There's just different
Right.
cycles. But I mean, to be simple, to simplify it, it's like, yeah, there's an off season,
Right.
but you still need a goal in the off season.
Absolutely.
Like, what do we talk about? So we talked about it. Bring the 580 gym talk tonight to the podcast too. But what did we talk about? Like, people compete so much that they can't have an off season and focus on getting stronger. Like, it's just the truth. Like,
Right.
dude, I love
like-
strong, man. I would compete every weekend if I could.
Right.
But
Even
like,
if you do 6 shows in a year, now that's a show every 2 months, right? When in that 6 show time frame, do you expect to actually be able to get bigger and stronger and faster? Like, you're not giving yourself any time. 2 months is not enough time to build any significant strength, speed, whatever you pick it.
it's just
So
enough
really,
time. It's literally
it's-
enough time to start peaking for another show.
I was just gonna say, it's literally you're just running a peak to peak to peak. Like I don't. I mean, if you enjoy competing and that's what you want to do and that's what you want to get out of the sport, there's nothing wrong with that. But
Sure.
I just don't know that you would ever truly progress to get any more competitive in the entire landscape versus just a local landscape.
Yeah. And it's different for, so a couple things. It's different for amateurs versus professionals.
Sure.
Professionals, you start attributing things. Well, first off, you have to look at it. A professional strongman, 9 times out of 10 has been training a lot longer under a barbell than an amateur. They've have a lot more experience. They have a lot more conditioning. They're everything. They also use a thing called PEDs to recover. A lot more professionals use PEDs than amateurs. That helps you recover. Whether you know, I'm not saying that's the reason that they're professional strongmen, but they use it and helps you recover. And also look at it from a professional standpoint. You know, if your boss says you're going to make a lot more money by working more, you're going to work more. A lot of people are going to work more. And that's these guys, they have a certain window where they are physically capable to perform and do these shows where you're now getting 20, 30, 50, $100,000 if you win. So it's like, yeah, I don't blame those guys for doing 15 shows a year because they are the best in the world and they're going to get paid.
But let's also look at the impact of competing at those pro level shows.
Sure.
I mean, how many guys at the Shaw Classic this past weekend got hurt?
I mean,
Tons. Was
well,
it this
look at-
weekend, 2 weekends ago, whenever it was? But
Well, and look at World's Strongest Man. If you watch the grouping, they start with 5 people per group, and almost every group every year goes down to 4 or 3. Wasn't there one group by the last event in
It had
qualifying?
3.
It had
I
2.
think there was 3 of them. Yeah.
I thought there was group 4 went down.
That
to
would have
2.
been
It was with
Singleton's group.
it was with
There was one that definitely went to 3. I know for sure.
Yeah, I
But
remember that.
regardless, it's like the injury rate is so high because those guys are just pushing to the absolute maximum. But take it back a step for keep Frawley's example, right? So you're doing 6 shows a year, right?
Yep.
So if you're not stupid most of the time, you're doing a deload week into your show, right? So you're basically doing nothing but active blood flow, you don't want to be just an ass and just go sit on the couch and eat bonbons and go stagnant, but
Right.
you're not getting stronger. You're not
Nope.
training. You're just moving around if you're doing like, and then, 9 times out of 10, probably more than that, 9.9 times out of 10, the average person needs a week to recover after the show. So if you're doing 6 shows a year and then the 2 weeks, before 1 week before and 1 week after, that's 12 weeks of your 52 weeks you have in a year. So 12 weeks of your 52-week calendar year, you aren't training and getting better. You're not doing anything productive but recovering or waiting to do a show.
Right.
So like I think for like, and like you said, I mean, if you're just in it like, hey man, I just like going and competing, like that's good. Go compete.
Sure.
And
Yep.
support the sport. That's awesome. But I think if you're talking about if you want to be really, really good, even great, elite, whatever, I think like 2 to 3 shows, maybe 4 absolute max is
Well, now
where it's
sticking with that, like you have 12 weeks out of the year. There's 52 weeks in a year. Now you have 40 weeks, right? You have 40 weeks. So let's take that and divide that by our 6 shows. So that gives you about 6.5 weeks. 6.5 weeks per show to be able to prepare and get better at the events while still trying to figure out how to get stronger. And I mean, 6-week waves, I just don't see how you're going to make any actual strength gains. Any true progress is going to take at least 3 months, in my opinion.
That's like a month and a half.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're in it, like, yeah, he's exactly right. Like I'm just beating a dead horse now, but like if you're peaking for a show 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, you're not getting stronger. You're getting good at the specific movements.
Right.
You're shaving a second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds off your farmer's carry, off your medley, off your, you're adding reps to your sandbag to shoulder, whatever. And that's great. You're going to be better long-term at those events, but you're not actually gaining muscle. You're not getting stronger.
Definitely
really
not.
like you're just getting better at that certain event. So it's like, I think the off season is like, if you do it right, I mean, it's so much more important than that peak.
That's where the gains are made, baby.
I mean, like, for example, like I'm coaching Pork.
Yeah.
I don't know how to say his real name is George. I don't know how to say his last name. I just call him Pork Powerlifting.
Pork.
Goes to our gym. Young kid, but he's just hard-headed. Will do the work, whatever you put on the paper, he'll do. But like his off season, which he's not peaking for a show, whatever, he put on his mock meet probably 80 to 100 pounds on his total, on his best total. And that's not peaking. I just saw like, okay, this dude's conditioning just absolutely sucks because he's in that powerlifting mindset doing 1 rep maxes all the time.
Looking at
He
you,
doesn't have a
Pork.
structure. So like just adding a structure in that off season, and he did everything in that 4-month off season that I programmed for him. And now he's peaking for a show and he's going to do awesome. Like
It's funny too, because he told me that you're having him do some conditioning type sets and conditioning type workouts. He's like, these suck, but I tell you what, I can really feel a difference now in my lifts. It's like, yeah, that's what he's doing.
He's doing 3 sets of 3 pause deadlifts, like full 2-second pause deadlifts with what his max triples like were. You know what I mean? Like and just adding like some, just like I said, for powerlifting doesn't have to be a lot. Like the dude's not gonna, Pork's not gonna, I like the guy, but he's not gonna go run a marathon now. But he can do 10 squats in a row at a moderate percentage without, needing to take a 45-minute break and grab an inhaler and go eat a freaking ho-ho and a Subway sandwich.
Yep.
He can do 3 sets of 10 now very efficiently. And he's doing like four sets of 7, stuff like that. Like it goes but that's a long way of getting to just attacking weaknesses in the off season, putting on some muscle, whatever you're bad at. And it goes such a long way.
Yep. It's a really good point. That was a good topic to bring up.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's always been something that perplexes me. Like even when I liked competing in powerlifting, I never wanted to do, my rule with powerlifting was always 2 shows a year. I picked a spring show and we picked a fall show, and that's how we did it.
Yep.
And that's always that's always
Yeah.
how it's been.
That's good to touch on. It's good it came up in the gym organically today too. So
Yeah.
that's a good point.
Oh yeah. What else? What else? I just feel like I talked for like 4 hours. What else we got this week? I mean, I got more stuff. I got something that we talked about today that pissed me off. We got some good questions. A couple, not a lot. But what do you guys have? What's on your guys' mind? Dante, first off, we talked about Ohio's strongest goal. You see how Dante stands up when I bring his name up because he thinks I'm about to try to roast him. Like his wizard. He went.
What you got?
Rewind
Hairs
that
on the back
YouTube
of his
video,
neck
Dante.
stand up.
Rewind that YouTube if you're watching YouTube. Dante goes. He like sat up, but we talked about Ohio's strongest. We talked about something else at the beginning, another show. I can't remember what show we talked about.
Battle at the Bridge.
Battle at the
The
Bridge.
one that you're running.
That's an important
Your
one.
own show. Wow.
How do you feel for nationals, Dante? We're like less than 6 weeks out.
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good.
We're
Like
5. So we'll have starting this Saturday, we'll have 4 full training weeks left.
Yeah.
like
We're
my
getting
log and Axel were taking a dip for a while, but it seems to be getting back on track for that a little bit. But I feel like all my other events are actually pretty much going pretty well.
Yeah, you got a
I mean, I kind of gassed out on
YouTube series.
Yeah, I got a little YouTube series going on my YouTube Camp Petrella.
Yeah,
But we're not talking about that now. We're talking about the 580 show.
That's all right. You can promote
You
yourself.
can shout it out, dude.
Yeah, Jesus.
No.
But yeah, I'm feeling great. Like I just hope I don't go to Nash. I'm gonna feel like such a dickbag if I go to nationals and I just 3 out of 6 events and like we talked about it for like a year.
I'm gonna tell you this: like, if you guys suck at the wheelbarrow, don't even come back to 580. You got the freaking implement.
Yeah.
If you guys don't both do well,
I'm taking my fourth of the
I
wheelbarrow.
I seriously love that. I love that
jumping up.
wheelbarrow. The only thing
telling
that
you.
sucks about the wheelbarrow is loading and unloading the plates. It takes like 30, it literally adds 30 minutes to your workout. Cause like for my weight, my wheelbarrow run and my deadlift, I have 1845s on the wheelbarrow implement. Dante has 22. It's just,
But I get change plates too.
and you get some change plates.
I was just gonna say you got to put 37 plates on it. That's why it sucks so bad.
But you know what? Like Vaughn actually, he was the one that got me to sign up for nationals, whether he knows it or not. And like, I was on the fence and I was like, I don't want to go to nationals until I think I'm like top 5. And I don't think I'm there yet, realistically. But he's like, you know what? That's the wrong way to look at it. He's like, go, you're strong enough. And just go and get the experience of being around the guys that are way stronger than you. And you're going to pick up stuff from them. You're going to learn. You're going to have a good weekend and just go do it. And I think like him saying that, like I committed and I started to like be like, okay, I do belong here and I can like compete with these guys. And
Sure.
I think it's pushing me a lot. I never thought my overhead was going to go up this much in the last like couple months.
Coming around, dude.
It's coming
Your
around.
overhead's coming around.
I
for
still
sure.
have a baby overhead, but it's
Yeah.
coming around.
Hey, don't we all?
I said the same thing to Dante too. I was like, dude, we were talking about him signing up for nationals, and I'm like, you're 24 years old, you're going to nationals. Like,
Yeah.
think about where you're going to be in 3 years when you're 27, 28 now,
Right.
and when you have 3 nationals under your belt. All that experience from being at that big of a show, like, yeah, I mean, you could be the big fish in the small pond all you want at local shows, but like going to nationals is going to push you over to a new level because now you know where you need to be competitive at a national level, not a
Right.
local level show.
Mhm.
You know, it's only going to be better for you.
Right. And also, so we bashed, we just talked like 10 minutes bashing people who compete too much. I'll say something nice now. One very positive thing that comes out of competing, whether it's a lot or a little, the biggest thing two things that come out of competing. You see the weights you have to hit, right? In strongman, like in powerlifting, you go and it's like, okay, I do my best. I hit my 3 top sets and whatever for each lift. But powerlifting, for example, like for nationals, my axle clean and press for reps is 255. My PR before I signed up for nationals on axle was under 225. But having that goal and then prepping to hit a rep with 255, I've successfully hit 245 now. So I'm within 10 pounds, which I didn't think I would be anytime soon. I tripled 225 tonight, which is a 10-pound PR. So I'm getting very close to 255. So I think a positive is it puts those numbers into your brain. You say, oh, that guy in my class that I'm going against can do it. I should be able to do it.
Yep.
How do I get it? It focuses you and it just pushes you to another level, if that makes sense.
It makes you go like, oh, the people in my weight class are expected to hit this number. Therefore, I need to hit this number.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you can set your own expectations, which is fine. But like when you want to be competitive at a high level, you like, okay, the people in my class are doing this. I need to be able to do this as well. And it just pushes you that much harder.
100%. And like, just, it probably already kind of said it, but just meeting the guys in your class, you'll make like friends, acquaintances, whatever. You'll stay in touch with those guys.
Rivals,
And the ones that are way stronger than you, you say, all right, what do you do? Like your overhead is 50 pounds better than mine. Your overhead is 75 pounds better. Like, what the hell do you do?
Right.
And they'll help you. Like, you
Right.
know, so it's like, those are positives that come with competing. Like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of positives that come to competing. You learn a lot. It's crazy too. Like my first strongman show ever, Riley was at, I missed a 170 log.
That's crazy to think about.
A 170 log. I'm doing my speed work, with like 175 now.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy.
How long ago was that? 3 years?
A little over 3 years ago now.
Was there a body weight difference for you?
I
can't remember what you were.
Maybe, it was same class I compete in now.
Right.
I was probably like 4 or 5 pounds lighter than I am now. I think I weighed in for that show at like 172. So I was a little lighter, but I walk around like 177 right now. But I mean, to answer your question, really, no. So
that's a good way to look at it.
It's insane. It's insane to look back at that. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of good that comes out of competing. I remember how much I learned that first show.
That's what I'm nervous about. First show, like what are the little tips and tricks and stuff that I didn't prepare for that I'm going to run into? It's inevitable. I mean, you guys have helped me prepare immensely, but you can't prepare me for everything. But that's just part of the journey and the fun. Just
don't be a nervous wreck like me and actually be able to eat in the morning. And
that was weird. That was weird.
I have trouble eating in the morning to begin with. So
me and Josh had breakfast, and I had like 2 bites of food.
Yeah, Dante ordered literally the biggest breakfast you could and had like a half a piece of potato home fry and like a bite of an egg.
I was like, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I will say like too, you're a different scenario because you're surrounded by people that have competed at shows. When I decided to do a show, like Derek was the only person in our gym at the time that had actually done a sanctioned show. And like, so I signed up like really close to the show. I didn't have a lot of guidance. So it was like, I'm glad I did novice my first show for sure. Right. It's different because like Strongman Saturdays we have now, like it's basically like you're doing like a limited show every Saturday. Like
I mean, I go up to you guys all the time. Like, hey, is the show going to be like this or is it like this? Like like the other day when I dropped the keg, I was like, do I need to worry about setting the keg up? You're like, more than likely the keg needs to be set up when you put it down. Just little stuff like that has helped me like prepare mentally. So I can't imagine without somebody being there to have that guidance, they can kind of like point me in the right direction. So that definitely makes it more tough for sure. So
pay attention. I'm not joking. This sounds obvious, but a lot of people don't and are afraid to ask questions. The rules meeting is that's the most important besides your lifts that day. That is the most important time of the day for you. Yeah. Like I screwed up in March when Dante and I did PA Dutch and like we got there kind of late. Like later, it just ran a different format than I'm used to. And
I wouldn't say we were late.
I wasn't aware that
felt rushed.
Yeah, but regardless, like get there early. And if there's something like you're like, hey, can I do this with the sandbag? Can I grab this like this? Can I use this belt? Ask then, because chances are, and like every single one of our elementary teachers said this, but like if you have that question, chances are someone else does.
Somebody else.
You're in a room with 100+ competitors. Ask the questions.
Right.
Like seriously, ask the questions because it will give you a huge advantage. Take the time when you're going to do your event, take the time to set up the implements how you want to do it. If you're doing sandbags, set the sandbags up. You're doing barrel carries, take your time. Don't just set them up because some bozo before you set them up crooked and went and rushed. Don't do that. Take your time, set everything up, and ask questions. That's the biggest thing.
Ask the judge when you get there too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of positives come out of competing too. And I feel bad. I didn't even ask Riley. It's his first. So Riley did an unsanctioned show, but it's his first sanctioned show coming up. Been a long time coming. So how are you feeling, Riley? You feeling good, confident? What's up?
Just starting my specific training. There's a couple events I want to really work on and get better at, but overall pretty confident.
So you have 5 events at Ohio Strongest. What events are you most confident about? What do you need the most improvement on?
My deadlift sucks, and then sandbag to shoulder.
Yeah, that's just
For sure.
conditioning. I think you'll do good at sandbag. What's your weight? Is it 200?
200, I think.
That'll be heavy. It's a heavy. I like this show. Like the weights are
pretty heavy.
It takes a lot more out of you than people think.
Yeah, it's strong, man, for sure.
It's gonna be a dogfight for me and Josh with 1 week of prep.
Yeah.
I mean, I've said it.
Talk about doing too many shows.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it if a couple of things. If I feel beat up from nationals, I'm not gonna do it. If I feel good, I'll show up, I'll have a good time, I'll compete, and then I'll really get into my off-season training. If I qualify for the Arnold, that would obviously I won't be complaining about that. I will go into my training for the Arnold. I won't do the show. And I can just.
I told you that today. You're like, nah, I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm like, no, like you're not doing it. If you sign,
I told you why I wanted to do it. We won't say it on the.
We're not saying that, but if you qualify for an Arnold, I'm banning you from competing at the goal.
And it's also my beautiful fiance's first show, so I need to support her too.
It's a lot of people's first show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, sandbag to shoulder kind of sucks. It's tough.
Yeah.
When it's heavy, man, it's tough.
Yeah, it's just gonna be if I do it, it's gonna and Dante too. Like the only thing we really train for would be the log, I guess. And we're training more for
deadlift for reps, but it's different.
Deadlift for reps, but it's a completely different movement.
Yeah, but
I mean our speed pulls looking good.
I mean, yeah, it's true.
It's not like you forget how to pull on a deadlift bar.
That's
you know? If it was the other way, I'd be more concerned. If you were training constantly on a deadlift bar and then had to do the gorilla deadlift on 1 week's prep, I'd be more concerned about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to use the Mike Bardos FU bar a lot in the off season.
Ooh. Tell us about it.
I was talking about that today. So Mike Bardos, MB Power Center, he makes a crazy bar. It's like the thickness between an axle and a normal barbell. And it's as stiff as a barbell as you can make. It weighs 50 pounds. It's called the FU bar. It's pretty self-explanatory, but it's just the bar is just insanely difficult. I'm going to pull on that a lot in the off season. So when I go to a normal deadlift bar, I feel great. I'm excited to use it, but yeah, we'll see. It's kind of a more advanced, like stiff bar wave, I guess.
I'm telling you, man, a stiff bar's the way to go.
It is.
It's
you get back on the deadlift bar after running a stiff bar wave, and it just feels different.
It's like pulling on a freaking noodle.
Right.
Telling you.
I think you'll do good at the log.
Yeah, my first practice set went pretty well. I just gotta be more consistent throughout the whole minute instead of gassing myself out.
I think you'll do good at the hold. The hold is heavy. The hold is heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Riley, what's your hold per hand?
I think it's 250.
250 per hand. That's what I was gonna say. So I mean, it's really it's a 500-pound deadlift and then a hold.
It's farmers again, right? It's not Denny.
Yeah, it's farmers. Thank God. I hate
our class's deadlift is 455 for reps. So
yeah,
I think our grip's gonna be fine, Josh, because that wheelbarrow freaking sucks for grip.
It really does.
I just want to make sure I warm up correctly and stay hydrated and keep my energy up because that's a lot of things.
And keep that grip mountain on, baby.
That's
Don't
a-
have.
That's a lot
Don't
of
do what
things
you
that
did for the
screwed
Pig
me.
Iron
I
Classic.
know that's a lot of things that screwed me up. I mean, it was my first show, so I kind of
Yeah.
expected something like that to go wrong. And I was way too nice. Like while other people were warming up, I was like, "Oh yeah, you can use it, And then I just didn't warm up enough as I needed to.
Yeah.
So
For sure. It'll be it. I mean, so you have a little bit of experience. You've been to shows, you've helped run shows, so you kind
yeah,
of understand. but
I've just experienced being around it a lot more
Yeah.
since then.
it'll be a really good experience for all of us. It's so cool that we have so many people going, so many first timers, so many people from 580 and affiliated with us and like going, and it's only like 40 something minutes from our house. Like that's awesome.
Mhm.
So it's gonna be an awesome day.
That was the number one reason I signed up for it, was because it was so close.
Yeah. Anyone have any other
Anywho.
topics before we take questions?
No, my week has been eventless.
I got a
I'm
question
on
for
like
me,
a
Frawley.
down week. What's up?
I
Oh
got a-
yeah. Dante's staying in his buddy Russo's house, and he stayed at my house over like when I went on vacation 2 weeks ago. And I was like, Dante, so like when you go and like stay and watch other people's houses, does like your mom have to feed your snake?
No,
Oh, you said
my
and
snake's on a
lizard.
hunger strike right now.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't feed your damn snake. Like I
I
would
mean,
do it
my
because
snake legit hasn't eaten in like 5 months.
like
What?
I would
5
feed your
months?
snake.
Yeah, my snake hasn't eaten in 5 months. She still poops.
That's
That's
insanity.
a catabolic snake.
Well,
I
the exotic
would feed-
exotic pet store said that she's trying to breed right now. I guess so. She's not trying to waste her energy eating.
Bro, she's gonna eat you. You know,
Yeah.
we talked about
I
that
think that's
before.
what I think that's what she's doing. She's sizing Dante up to eat him.
Good luck.
He's waiting for that big meal.
I would feed your snake
Jesus.
for you while you're on vacation because you're my friend, but I would be terrified of it.
Oh,
I
I
would
would
not.
I would
If it
do
ever-
it
I would
too,
not.
but I would be
If
so
it-
scared.
If it ever did one of these, like
Oh,
like if it did one of them, your snake's dead. Like I'm killing it.
yeah, I
I'm
would be
done.
so
Ripped in
scared.
I'm
half.
sorry. I'll get you a new one. I'll get a gardener out of my side yard and put it in your thing and replace it. But like that thing's dead.
I think I know the difference.
If
Yeah,
it does like a at me,
I didn't-
done.
Yeah, it only
What
does
about,
it
like,
if you
your-
freak it out.
What about like your lizard? Like, do you feed it, or does it like hunger strike when you're not there too?
What do
Just
snakes
go-
eat?
just-
Rats and shit? What
Yeah,
is a snake?
they can eat
Yeah.
birds too.
Birds?
I've only ever fed
That's
it rats.
barbaric as hell.
That's freaking nuts.
My lizards just eat crickets and worms.
Yeah.
See, I can get down with crickets. That's not a big deal.
Yeah.
They're annoying.
But like,
worms are
like
easier.
dangling like one of them little mouse over a freaking ball python. Like, nope,
You
nope.
have to- So if it's feeding day, I guess I'm interested in this lizard talk again. So if it's feeding day, do you go and get the crickets like fresh? Like how often does a lizard eat, or do you just have crickets like keeping you up in your room?
I used to have big crickets, but they kept chirping and they kept keeping me up at night. So I don't really feed them crickets anymore, only every once in a while. But I usually
That's
feed them
okay,
every
dessert.
every 2 or 3 days,
Yeah.
and I'll just pretty much feed them mealworms now.
Do you ever
They're
go to
easy.
a reptile expo?
I've been to like 5.
What are they like?
Just a bunch of people on tables.
I always wonder.
It's like the Arnold, but for like reptiles.
I was gonna say, which one would you rather go to?
It's like
That's scary.
it's like different vendors, and there's like king cobras.
I
and
just
snapping
picture all these
turtles and
weirdos
alligators.
that just walking around with snakes on their like shoulder
Yeah.
and stuff, and they're just like
There are people
Yeah.
that walk around with tegus like on their shoulders.
oh, it's
Do
just like-
people like do
disturbing.
people when they walk around at these conventions, do they like hiss their tongue at people like snakes do?
You know
Like,
what? You know what? There's one coming up, and I'm going to take you guys.
I'm
No,
not,
nope.
I'm not a lizard guy. You
Nope.
can tell us about it.
You know how
So-
like sometimes you just know when you're not welcome to areas? Like that's one for me. I'm not going.
I'm out.
I'm not
Honestly,
welcome.
honestly, you'll find anybody there, like just weird people, normal people, whatever kind of people.
They're all weirdo lizard people, so they're all gonna be weird.
It's
I'm
literally like the Arnold, but for like reptiles instead of supplements.
It's like
Bro,
the
I don't
Arnold,
wanna
but
go
just
see-
complete opposite.
Have you ever watched Anaconda? Like
Yeah.
the movie? That's terrifying.
They don't have those ones there.
They better not. They're out in the freaking
At
rainforest.
least not the ones I've been.
Good lord.
Instead of pre-workout samples, they give out boxes of crickets or something.
They do have cheap feeder insects there though. I usually stock up when I go.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've spent way too much time on lizards.
I love it. We got any
I've,
questions
I've
this
also
week?
I've also
It-
bred. Never mind. Let's go.
This is a good first question. I was
Let's
fired
hear
after
it.
this question. Favorite cookie to eat at a wedding?
Ooh.
That's a good question. So first off, I did not know. I've told a million people that this week.
You're gonna tell me that the cookie table is a Pittsburgh thing.
That's a Pittsburgh thing.
You didn't
I
know
did
that that's a
not know
Pittsburgh
that.
thing.
I didn't
Yeah.
know it. That
Right.
is, I knew. I found out 1 week ago that it's a Pittsburgh thing.
Every
That's
wedding
a
literally says
100%
the
Pittsburgh
Pittsburgh
thing.
cookie table.
Yeah,
I didn't know it was just So
There's no way it's just a Pittsburgh thing.
it
that's
is.
it's
It's
mainly
just a Pittsburgh thing. It's not
Yeah.
even like a Pennsylvania thing. Like
No.
like Philadelphia doesn't do it.
So
Right.
if I go to my wedding in Colorado, there's not going to be a cookie table.
No,
Are they from Pittsburgh?
they'll have
No.
cake.
Then they probably won't
They'll
have.
just have
Potatoes
cake.
and cake. It's like putting fries on a
I
sandwich.
thought every mom that was like involved in the wedding just made a batch of cookies and just put it on a table for every single wedding that ever happened.
You know those like little cookies that are like just a little bit bigger than like a vanilla wafer, and they're the lemon with like the frosting on
Oh,
Lemon
them. Those,
cookies.
dude.
dude,
Oh,
I can a cookie
Oh.
table just
Hey,
Riley-
I think I saw you at that cookie table for a straight hour.
Riley saw me eat legitimately 50 cookies on last Friday.
So you had to reset your meals on track for counting, huh?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that
It was my
wasn't
one.
on
It was
track
my
that
one
day.
free meal, and I just ran. When
I
I see that
think that was
green
a free
light, I
6
just
meals.
go. I just go.
What are your guys' favorite cookies? I gave mine. I gotta know this.
Are there Subway
I'm a big
cookies
Lady
there?
Luck guy.
Ooh,
That's not bad.
I hate those.
They're
hate those.
okay.
I like
I
them.
hate those. Did he say Lady Lock?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the
Josh, how do you
that's,
feel about them?
that's the grossest.
No,
Oh,
it's not.
That's
If,
disturbing.
if you get the
That's
good one,
disturbing
like-
that you can have one cookie and you pick a Lady Lock.
dude, I grew up on those
That's
things.
disturbing. I don't care if you grew up on them. That's disturbing.
Grandma Claire used to make them like bomb.
I'd rather eat dog food than a Lady Lock.
I like the ones with
Yeah.
Reese cups, but I just hate how they break apart.
Those are
so easy.
great.
Ooh, those are good.
The-
You can't go wrong
So,
with chocolate chip though.
If they have, that's true. That's a good point. But if they have cheesecake bites,
Oh,
Bruh. Those aren't
yeah.
cookies though.
they're,
they're
at the cookie table.
table.
It's at the cookie table.
Okay.
If
That's
they have
tough.
cheesecake bites, or if they have like, I like the ones Riley said. Chocolate chips are really good. I like trying new stuff though. Like they had these like caramel almond chocolate mixed ones. They had like Oreo bites at the cookie table. I was at the Oreo bites. Were
Oreo
crazy.
bites.
Bruh.
Not the Oreo
Cheesecake
bites.
Bruh.
There was
Mhm.
There was
Those are real
100,000 cookies at this wedding we were at. There's
Oh, yeah.
100,000 cookies. It was every guest could have eaten 1,000 cookies and there would have still been cookies left. It was insane.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
There's
But,
always too many, but
yeah, that Lady Locks pissed me off.
No.
Riley, what's your favorite one? The peanut butter cup cookie?
I said I like them, but I just hate how they break apart so easy. So it's
Yeah, I get
It
that.
It
One
really
bite wonder.
depends. It really depends on the wedding though. It depends
Sure.
like what the
yeah.
what-
I
what
like
they're
I like the
offering.
specialty ones, like all
Yeah.
the ones Josh listed. So it just depends what's there, you know,
Depends how bougie. But if I had to go like an absolute lock, I would do chocolate chip.
or
That's so
snickerdoodle.
boring.
Yeah.
Chocolate
Snickerdoodles
chip.
are pretty fire.
Chocolate chips, the most cookie cutter answer there is.
I know, but they're
That's
just
so
so
cookie
damn
cutter.
good. They're so damn good.
I'd rather have some Oreos on my cookie table.
Don't do that.
I'm not getting into this
Don't
again.
do that. Only day one listeners get that.
Next question.
How does coaching training differ for different groups? Like for example, training your athletes versus a female novice versus someone 10 plus years experience. We actually kind of already talked about it already, but it's specificity. So to that exact thing, what you're doing, it's
Good question.
yeah, that was Allie that asked, so I have to give her credit.
That's a good question.
But like I mean, it's just gonna be different. It just depends on what you are. Like a cross country runner is gonna need a completely different model than a wrestler, than a strongman, than a like. There's just so many different types of strength endurance,
Right.
and like there is, there's just different types of training that you need to do.
Right.
Like a soccer player, a wrestler, a basketball player, they're doing quick, short bursts for a longer time. That's like nonlinear anaerobic strength. And like it's just different than like a cross country runner who's just running for a long period of time. So it's just kind of figuring out what the goals are and what the specific sport is, and it goes
Right.
into that. We
Yeah,
talked
so,
a lot
like-
about strongman.
I mean, I think like just from a very quick explanation. So like a novice lifter, you're going to have just a base of strength training. We need to get you stronger because you're just starting, right? An athlete's going to focus more on explosive movements, building that explosive power. If they're an endurance athlete, you're going to train more for endurance, right? And then an advanced lifter, you're going to be like, okay, you're strong, but where do you suck, right? Where are your weaknesses? We need to fix your weaknesses. And then you just kind of build from there. But like, it's definitely different. That's a good question.
Yeah,
You could do 3 episodes
That's-
on that topic
honestly,
alone.
That's
Yeah.
it's a great question. Yeah, 100%. Best fantasy football punishment for losing.
We had a pretty good
Fantasy
one.
football,
Our league did the best one. So
the strip club.
a guy in
Yeah.
our league that this is our, I believe, like probably 12th year of our Beaver Boys league. But he broke some rules of our league, and our commissioner struck down, and him versus another guy that broke rules had to go against each other. And then the loser of that had to stand in front of the courthouse for 2 full hours with a sign that said Beaver needs a strip club. And he went absolutely viral. It was on a Friday during like rush hour when people are coming in and out of the courthouse, cars on Main Street, just nonstop. And I forget how many shares this got on Facebook, but our fantasy league got over, I'm pretty sure it's over 500 shares on Facebook. And it was like Beaver, let me get the exact picture up. I'll look it up. I have it on my Instagram right here. It said, honk if you want a strip club in Beaver. And it's Big Joe standing in front of the courthouse, and it's just people honking at him for 2 hours straight.
There's a lot of honks.
Dude, I can remember like we were mutual Instagram followers at the time. So like I didn't know you guys, but like I remember seeing that picture posted, and I seriously remember busting a gut. Like I was like, is that real? Like literally laughing so hard.
Like
when
people
I came
don't realize it was
so
2 hours.
funny.
It was 2 hours.
So funny.
You said it's on
We
your
were waiting to
Instagram?
go. We were waiting
Yeah.
to go on a bachelor party, but before we left, he had to complete that task.
Mhm.
So we all just sat on a bench across the street and just watched and laughed for over an hour, just straight. He just had to stand there. It was hilarious.
You want me to show the picture?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
This is gonna put our YouTube views up. But yeah,
Oh
there's
my
Big Joe.
god, that's so funny.
Yeah. Great caption by me. Somebody finally had the balls to speak up. Great caption. Go follow me. But
That's
great.
gold.
yeah, it was awesome. What other punishments have you guys seen that are good? There's so many like cookie cutter ones now. Like there's like whoever loses our league every year has to sing the national anthem and buy all the food for the draft. We've always done that.
I had to
I've
do it
seen-
off the deck of our house we rented in Put-in Bay, and there was
Yeah.
like tons of people walking past. And I was
Yeah.
doing my like
Singing the national anthem is a lot more stressful than it seems. Even though it's in front of your friends, it's a lot more stressful than it seems.
yeah, mine wasn't.
My league,
Um,
I've only been in my league for like 3 years. We don't do that, and I keep trying to have people like do it, but I'm like with a bunch of like my older cousins and family, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't do that."
Yeah.
I've seen it before where like people have to get tattoos that
I
say
like-
I
I
suck
like
at
the-
fantasy football.
Yeah, I like the tattoo. The winner gets to choose the loser's tattoo. That's pretty
Mhm.
fun.
Yeah.
I do
That's
like
a good-
like standing in front of like a building or something with a sign. Like that's
I
pretty
still
fun.
have that sign too. I still have it sitting in my one closet. That's a good question with fantasy football. Oh, it's here. So, well, I'm on the wrong Instagram page. Got it. Hey, also shout out to Abby and Rob for moving their karate studio. Congrats to
Oh,
them.
yeah.
So,
Forgot about
Yeah,
that.
that's cool.
And 580
They did
news.
to Aurelius.
Congratulations. Yeah. Jerry said Steel City next weekend. He's excited. Yeah, that's gonna be an awesome show. I'm bummed out I can't go.
Yeah, that really
So
sucks.
Vaughn's show, Steel City Strongest. Strongman's back in Pittsburgh. It is September 18th, Saturday at Legends of Pittsburgh. If you're interested in going, go check it out. It's gonna be an awesome show.
you'll see me.
You can go back and listen to we had Vaughn on, talked about the show. We had a really good episode about that. So if you want to go listen, Vaughn knows we're supporting him and everything. Dante's going to be doing what there?
I'm gonna be doing a live production. Well, not live, but kind of like how they film World's Strongest Man. They release it after.
Nice.
I'm
Oh
gonna-
yeah, shout out to Tom Stoltman for winning this past weekend.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Congrats.
sorry.
I'm
Sorry to
gonna
jump in.
release every event like 1 month after the other.
That's hilarious.
I'm gonna try to make it look as professional as possible and make it like a seamless view for people who will
It's
miss
gonna
the
be
show or
sweet.
want to see it.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
I'll watch it.
Well, those are all the good questions from this week. Do we have anything else we're missing before we wrap it up? Great episode this week.
Big announcements getting closer and closer by the day. By the day.
I can't wait. I seriously can't wait.
I texted Josh earlier and said, I can't wait for this to go public.
I would say so. The episodes release on Sundays. So this Sunday will be the 12th, 19th. I think maybe the 26th.
Don't get my hopes up, man. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe. I don't know.
Don't get my hopes up.
I'm so damn excited. But we will see you guys. Milestone 40. It's another milestone next week. Episode 40. It's crazy that we're almost at our year. And we got to do something big for the year anniversary of the show.
Yep.
What was the first date?
Me, Riley. Well, it's 50. We do one every Sunday. So 52 will be 1 year.
Yeah.
But it's crazy. We used to do it on like the reverse hyper at the gym or in like the storage closet at the gym.
Just stand
Me,
around.
Riley, and Dante. It's crazy.
I mean,
But
the
we-
live ones are always fun too. But
They are.
Zim's-
We should do a live show for our year and do
I
some
think that's a
giveaway-
good idea.
We should do some giveaways too.
Yeah, we can do live giveaways.
Yeah, we should do that.
It's a good
Call the
idea.
pe-
we should do
Call
that.
the people live on the podcast. and tell
December
them.
Yup.
21st.
Yeah,
It was
we
like-
can give
was the
we can
first
give
release.
away. No, I'm not gonna say anything. Can't say anything.
Yeah, don't
But,
do that yet. Nope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nope.
Cut that out.
Nope.
Cut that out.
So a week after 580 Strongest would be a year.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do a live show at 580 Strongest for our year show at like the after
And
party.
then release it.
Release it the
week
next
after.
week. Yeah. Do a live
Not a
show at
terrible
the
idea.
banquet at 580 Strongest. We'll have the mics and everything. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't hate it.
We'll do the pre-show to be released the day after, and then the week after will be the post.
We could even do it the day before 580 Strong. Yeah, I don't know. Endless possibilities.
We'll
But
figure it out.
yeah, we appreciate everyone coming along. If you guys could do us a favor, subscribe to this podcast. If you're listening to this right now, subscribe to the podcast. Leave us a review. Those two things help us a lot. Subscribe and leave us a review. And just tell friends to listen to the podcast. Tell friends, family, whatever, to listen to the podcast. It really helps us out a lot. We enjoy doing it. So, but
Throw
thank
us a
you
like
guys.
on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. Share this stuff. We really appreciate it. And thank you guys for all the support for 580 Barbell, this podcast. Yeah, we'll have some big news coming up. Follow us on Instagram, 580 Barbell. Like us on Facebook, 580 Barbell. If you're not a member, come down and check it out. We got a lot of cool things coming up. Yeah, strongest gym in the area.
Pretty much it.
Get with the times, guys.
Later.
Follow
Love you guys.
Riley.
Great job, guys.